Did you know that your dreams show whether the therapy you're currently doing is having any effect or not? Well, on today's show, we look at a dream from Tracy that shows exactly that. The beauty of that then is that we know that the issues that you're trying to resolve are finally going to get resolved. Even if you've tried them before, we know from your dreams whether it's going to be the last time you need to look at it. Stay tuned to find out more. Welcome to the Dream Interpretation Podcast. I'm Michael Sheridan, and with me in studio is Sandy Sheridan.
Hi, everybody. Welcome.
This is another half hour of us eavesdropping on the very personal communication between the spirit world and heroes on their journey, because that's what a dreamer is. That's why I focus on dreams. If you want to know what you're meant to be doing right now, at this very moment in your life, then look no further than your dreams. Through analysing your dreams, I reveal your potential and the obstacles you need to overcome. I'm very specific. I tell you the superpowers that you have or could have, what would make you magnificent, and the bumps in life that are holding you back. These bumps are not in the way, they are the way. To get your dream analysed on my show, go to dream-analysis.com/podcast, fill in the form and submit your dream that way, and I take it from there. And thank you very much to everybody who does, because obviously the dreams you send are the lifeblood of the show. So next week, not this week, next Tuesday, I will have my free dream clinic at noon Pacific time on Tuesday. So do join me for that. The link will be dream-analysis.com/clinic. But before we launch into dreams this week, this is our second last show before our free Dream Interpretation Summit that runs from October the 7th to the 9th. This is truly a life-changing event. You will never look at dreams the same way again. How is this different from listening to this show? Well, on this show, I interpret dreams for individual listeners. The focus is really on the individual dreamer and what their dream is telling them. And I try to do it in an entertaining way so everybody listening gets something out of it too. If you were in the studio, you'd see I'm also riding a unicycle and spinning plates at the same time. All right, I made that part up. But we do put a lot into each show. During our free 3-day event, the focus is on how you can break apart your own dreams to get to the marrow. We cover lots and lots of structure so you have a framework to hang your own dreams on. And you can sign up at dream-analysis.com/free right now. You can do it right now, even while you're listening to this show. Everyone who is registered will get free access to the recording. So if you miss a bit, you can watch it later. And if a part is absolutely amazing, you can watch that many times later. This event will help you unlock the wisdom from your higher self by giving you the tools you need to understand and act on their messages. I want to save you from the frustration of having dream after dream and not being able to figure them out. This is a fun, interactive weekend. We can offer it for free because Ashling School is fully sponsoring it. It is in alignment with what my mission is, which is to change how the world views dreams. I am holding nothing back. I am not showing you steps 1 and 2 and saying to get the rest you need to purchase. Nope. This is a fully contained weekend. Everything we show you will be complete. Will you be a better dream interpreter after this event, even if you do nothing else? Absolutely. That's 100% guaranteed. My team and I break the whole process down to the basics. You will learn and you will look at your dreams with fresh eyes, getting so much more from them than you do now, understanding their advice and moving forward with it to improve your life in many areas. There are lots of interactive sessions throughout the weekend to help you absorb and practice the tools we are giving you. Shut up, Michael. I've heard enough. I hear you. I want to register already. Well, great. You can register at dream-analysis.com/free. Go there now. Be aware though, we do ask for a small, refundable, fully refundable deposit to hold your spot. We do this because we have a limited number of seats and we want to save them for the people who really want to attend. Just show up to any of it, even 2 minutes, and you will get fully refunded automatically. A properly interpreted dream carries insane value. You will fully grasp that in our workshop. Is there a catch? No, there isn't. Like I said, we do have a limited number of seats though. So you do have to pay that deposit, which we give back. Just think, you used to have to pay a deposit to get a bottle of Coke. Look at it this way. This is my way of saving your seat. You are very welcome. So here's what you're going to learn by attending. The most common dreams and their meanings. How to work with symbols. You can jump in anywhere you want here, Sandy, if you want. Why masculine and feminine energy is there in every dream. Why birth shows up so often in dreams. How relationships help you grow.
I got this one. Yes, relationships help you grow. And dreams can help you find your ideal partner. I love it. I love it. I love it. Your turn.
We cover how dreams help you in your everyday life, and we give examples of that. Also, we've added this piece to it this year, how to discover your gifts from your dreams. And we've done that in a kind of a fun, interactive way that is going to be spread out over the weekend. Little quizzes. Then we also cover how dreams help you with your career and much, 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 much more. And this year we're making the recordings free for 5 days after the event, but it's only for registrants only, so you have to register. And here are some of the bonuses for the people who do register. The first 200 to register get the deluxe version of my dream book for free. And you can't get this version on Amazon or in bookstores, so you can't buy it at all. I reserve it for students of my courses, and it's $35. It's not like the one that's on Amazon that's $15. The first 100 to register get a Starbucks gift card. If you don't drink Starbucks, you definitely have a friend who does. So we wanted to give away a Seattle Chocolates gift box as a surprise to everyone who registered. But for whatever reason, we were unable to make that happen. Seattle Chocolates, are you listening? So many people all over the world could have been eating your decadent truffles. Why? Well, the first 50 to register also get an Aisling School The Obstacle is the Way mug. Sandy's very proud of that mug. She's the one that created that. The first 25 to register also get the opportunity to have their dreams interpreted by me in advance of the event. Now, some restrictions apply, but that restriction is really this. I will use that session or parts of it at the event. May use it. I reserve the right. Anyway, there are more surprise bonuses in the registration package you receive, and it all totals over $500 worth of bonuses that you can get for free. Isn't that insane? You can tell we want you to really enjoy our Dream Interpretation Summit. You can sit in the comfort of your own home, looking up the meaning of your dream in your new book, while drinking Starbucks out of your Obstacle is the Way mug. And speaking of Obstacle is the Way, we have enough to send out Seattle Chocolates to many of you. We don't let that stop us. And there are even more bonuses that we're going to give away over the weekend, but we're keeping them as a surprise. Everyone who registers will get a bonus. We guarantee it. All right, Sandy, you've sent out many of the bonuses already. What do you have to add?
Oh my goodness, you covered it so well. I'm real excited about the books that we're sending out, as well as we have decided to give them to not just 100, but to the first 200. And that's huge. That's been a lot of work for me getting all this ready, but I am so excited. And we've got so many countries that have been included in this. You talk about we want to change the way the world is looking at dreams. We are getting there. We even have somebody from Mongolia, let alone Portugal, the UK, Ireland, of course, because that's where you're from, but the US, Australia. It's real exciting, and we really want to hit the whole world just so people can have their eyes open and be able to see the value that dreams bring. So I'm so excited, Michael. Back at you.
All right. Well, let's jump into dreams since it is a dream show. But I know we spent some time talking about the event, and we're going to do it again next week. And no apologies for that, because it's so deep and so rich that you really will be glad. If you go to it, you will be glad. Guarantee it. Let's have a look at a dream. What have you got for us?
Well, let's see. The title is very interesting of this one. Dell, Bigtree, and Jeffery, Jaxen. And it's from Tracy. So hopefully I got those names right, but let's begin. Backstory. The Highwire has been my main source of news that I've trusted since 2020. Dell spearheaded it and is the main guy. Near the beginning of each episode, they have a segment called the Jaxen Report, where Jeffery Jaxen presents some of his latest findings. They are very thorough in investigating everything they report on prior to reporting it, and their reports always include their sources. They are also very transparent. All right, that's the backstory. Let's begin the dream. I was on a large rocky hill similar to where people go off-roading near Phoenix, Arizona. I was downhill a bit. Uphill to my left was a man in an off-road vehicle shaped like what you would see in a kid's remote-controlled vehicle, and I had the remote. The man in the vehicle was sick and needed me to drive it for him using the remote controller. He was near a Y in the path. To the left was an uphill slope that led to the top. To the right was also upward slope to the top, but just before the top there was a natural archway that went from the right to the middle of the Y. At one point, about 20 feet away at the top of the hill through the archway, I saw a white truck pass headed towards the left part of the Y. I made the man's vehicle go to the right and stop just before the archway to ensure he was out of the way of the truck if the truck was going to come down. I never saw the truck come down and assumed it took another path down the other side. Uphill to my right was Dell and Jeffrey. They were talking about the sick man in the vehicle I was operating and the sad state of health right now. I also overheard them talking about how sometimes they receive new information from trusted sources and feel a strong push to report on it right away. But they get the information right before their show goes live, and there's no time to do the research they like to do first. I told them I had a suggestion, and they came over. My suggestion was that they remind people that they like to thoroughly do their research before sharing information, but they had some news just come in that they felt is very important to get out now. That they asked the audience to do their own research before making decisions on the topic, and that the audience shared with them information they found. That we all work together and help shed light on breaking topics. Over to you, Michael. I'm interested to hear this one.
All right. I have never heard of Dell or Jeffrey, but the backstory is important for the interpretation. So thank you for that, Tracy. They signify your desire for facts and trust. Tracy is currently in the process of healing childhood trauma with her dad. When I asked if facts and trust were an issue with Dad, she said, oh God, yes. Both her parents lied constantly, and it is a huge trigger for her still today. And Dad has passed, and that's relevant for later on. So bear that in mind now as we look at the dream again. Sandy, can you start off with the first paragraph?
Sure. I was on a large rocky hill similar to where people go off-roading near Phoenix, Arizona. I was downhill a bit. Uphill to my left was a man in an off-roading vehicle shaped like what you'd see in a kid's remote-controlled vehicle, and I had the remote. The man in the vehicle was sick and needed me to drive it for him using the remote controller. He was near a Y in the path. To the left was an uphill slope that led to the top. To the right, also an upward slope to the top, but just before the top there was a natural archway that went from right to the middle of the Y. All right, Michael, good luck.
Good luck. All right, so a rocky hill, that's like having rocks in your path, so it's not really good. But if you're in the middle of a therapy, it is good. When you're working on yourself, we want to see the difficult things that the dream or that your therapy is actually working on, and your dreams are going to reveal that. So if you're doing a therapy and you're paying a lot of money for a therapy and your dreams don't change, well, then you're wasting your money. But if you're doing a therapy and your dreams do change and we see something like this, then we know whatever you're doing is working. So it's addressing why life feels like an uphill struggle. So she's on this large rocky hill similar to where people go off-roading. That says a lot as well too, that she's able to go off-roading. So she doesn't have to follow the normal path that everybody else takes. She was downhill a bit, uphill to her left as a man in an off-road vehicle. That's fine. But anyway, she's driving it by remote control and the man in the vehicle is sick. Now, later on, we see two other people that are very positive male characters. But right here, a negative male character, or at least somebody who's sick, which is typical of when you're working on issues around dad or masculine energy. We see males in dreams because they symbolize your masculine energy. And we see this switch between somebody being ill and other people being very positive. So it's like trying to heal the issue, what causes the masculine energy within you, because we all have masculine and feminine energy within us, and it flows within us. So something needs to be done to address the fact that this flow is not healthy for you, and you are doing it, so you don't need to change anything. But so seeing the sick man is perfect. We want to see the sick man. What we also see though is that you are controlling the vehicle he's driving in. We don't like that. It tells us you have a gift. You do have the ability to project your mind, but ignoring that, it tells us that you're a bit controlling. Now, this is okay. This is a normal reaction to somebody whose childhood was not very safe or secure. You can end up trying to make the world safe around you by controlling the world around you, controlling your relationships, controlling your house very strongly, and other environments that you want to be in. And you need to do that to make the world safe for you. But when you finish healing the trauma around dad, you won't need to do that. It will just disappear on its own. You say there's a Y in the path. That's pretty good. A Y is better than a T-junction. T-junctions are about a choice or a change being forced on you. And a Y is still a change. You're still going to have to change. You're not going to be able to continue forward as you currently are. But you don't have to change as much as a T-junction. You don't have to deviate as much. So this change is not too bad for you. It's not going to feel too bad. But what we do see is that on the left, there's an upward slope. And on the right, there's an upward slope. So this says that regardless of this change, it's still going to be difficult. So it's a pity that it's not like one of them is an easy path downwards. It's just not that way else. So we know that you're still in the middle of it. And this, again, just tells us where you are in the therapy. You're not at the end. You're probably about, between half and 2/3 way through it based on this. So what's the next bit, Sandy?
Alrighty. At one point, about 20 feet away at the top of the hill, through the archway, I saw a white truck pass headed towards the left part of the Y. I made the man's vehicle go to the right and stop just before the archway to ensure he was out of the way of the truck if the truck was going to come down. I never saw the truck come down, and I assumed it took another path down the other side. All right, Michael, it's your turn.
All right. So the truck is another masculine symbol. Trucks are always a masculine symbol in a dream. Indeed, career is, and trucks are all to do with career. So here we know her dad has passed, and so whoever's driving the truck and he never comes down, he's on the other side of the hill at the end of it. That's what she assumes. He took another path down on the other side. So we know it's her dad and her dad passing. And that's fine because we want symbols for him to show up in the dream. But she says that this was going to come towards me. So dad's already out of her life, but this truck is going to come down towards where this other guy was. And she moves him out of the way so that if the truck comes down, he's not going to be in the way. And this tells us that what she does is she moves herself out of the way of people just in case there's going to be a confrontation or there's going to be anything that comes along that will later on make her have to move out of the way. So she moves herself to the side in advance. And she's doing it because of dad. So it's like she could say to us, oh, well, yeah, I don't like confrontation. I like to have everything in order and I like to be out of the way by the time somebody comes along. But this dream says you're not moving out of their way. You are moving out of your dad's way, even though he's already passed. He never comes down and you're still moving out of the way. So you move yourself out of the way because of dad, not because of anybody else, despite what you think you're doing it for. So that's what that bit's about. So what have we got next?
Wow, that was great insight on the moving out of the way and that's not even coming down. That's amazing. Alrighty, I'm sorry. Next part. Uphill to my right was Dell and Jeffrey. They were talking about the sick man in the vehicle I was operating and the sad state of health right now. I also overheard them talking about how sometimes they receive new information from trusted sources and feel a strong push to report on it right away. But they get the information right before their show goes live, and there's no time to do the research they like to do first. All right,
Okay.
Michael.
Okay. So Tracy is actually Dell and Jeffrey in the dream. And they represent her wanting to cross all the T's, dot all the I's when it comes to ideas and concepts that she has. She wants everything worked out. She wants it to be fully trusted. She wants, like, I've got all the facts. I have the history on this subject before I open my mouth on it. And we know where this comes from because I tipped you off at the start of the that's the start of the dream, that it comes from the fact that dad lied all the time. And so she really does not like when people make things up. And so the way it's hitting her in her life today is that she spends a lot of time holding things back because she doesn't have all the facts that she thinks she needs to have in order to say what it is that she has on her mind to people. And so it's, again, dad impacting her. It's a bit like she gets out of the way in case dad comes along, even though he's already passed. And so this is the same thing. Dad is still impacting me because I don't share what I have, because I don't want anybody whatsoever to have any idea that what I'm saying is not true and factual. And so even if she gets a fact wrong, totally by accident, that would really be horrible for her. And this is one of the things that she needs to work on, because dad lied, that she has, it's a trigger for her that if people don't give information that's completely factual, it really, really gets to her. And of course, then, because it gets to her, it causes her to be quiet far too often. So, next piece.
Okay. I told them I had a suggestion and they came over. My suggestion that they remind people that they like to thoroughly do their research before sharing information. But they had some news just come in that they felt is very important to get out now. That they asked the audience to do their own research before making decisions on the topic, and that the audience share with them information they find. That we all work together and help shed light on breaking topics. All right, Michael, back to you.
All right. So this is the antidote. She's given the antidote in her own dream to these two people. So like they represent the part of her that wants to get all the facts right and all the detailed research. And so she's saying to them, which is her saying to herself, and therefore healing the issues around dad, to say, introduce your concepts and your topics and your conversation by saying, you know, this is something that's important. I think it's important, but I haven't done all the research. So I'm going to say what I know or what I think I know, and then you can check it out yourself later. But at least it'll be interesting for you to know. And that's a great solution to the problem that she has. Just by feeding a few sentences into it first, so that she can then say what she wants and learn to talk about things that she doesn't have all the facts on, because most things we don't have all the facts on, and that's why we get into conversations with people, because we want to understand, what do you think about this? Like, here's what I've heard, what have you heard? Let's see if we can figure this out between us. Or even if it's just something you're working on and you want to talk to somebody else about it, because of the way your dad was, you hold back. So anyway, it's a great end to the dream. I really like the end of the dream. The part I would change if I was going back into that dream is I wouldn't pull the character over to the right and have him park for that other truck coming down. I would just do whatever you wanted to do. Like, were you going to reverse back and then go up the left-hand side or go up the right-hand side? Do that. Re-enter the dream and do that without stopping. But that's it. That's the dream. It's pretty good because it shows the therapy's working, and you should feel it. Like, because the ideas that are coming up in the dream about needing to be so factual and accurate has to be at the top of your mind, and something that you are now going to be addressing so you don't have to be that way in the future. Really like the dream, and thanks for sharing it with us, Tracy. I'm looking at the time, and I think we can squeeze one fast one in from YouTube. This is from Parisa. She says, I have dreams where I see Mary, but she puts her forehead to mine. She also has a headpiece, and she is light. I can see her face, but I see her light and love. And I get, you are the old woman. No idea what all this means. Well, Parisa, her putting her forehead to yours means that she speaks to you in your thoughts. It also means that you can read other people's thoughts, you, yourself. That's your gift. You might not notice that because to you it will feel normal, that you know what people are thinking, and you probably assume this is how we all are, but we're not. I like how you say, though, that she is light and love. That's exactly true. Most people miss the light part. Also, you are the old woman is you being told you are like your mom. This will be in reference to something recent. I can't say whether it's positive or negative, as the meaning only fits within the context of what was going on for you at the time of the dream. But anyway, I'm glad we got that one in. All right, so we've told you about our event. Go to dream-analysis.com/free. Sign up there. Please do it. We really look forward to seeing you at the event. There's lots of Q&A sessions at the event right throughout it. So it's not just us talking, it's interactive. And we will answer all your questions that we can. So anything else to add, Sandy?
Thank you, everybody, for listening, and I can't wait to see you all at our big event. It's going to be fabulous, the Dream Interpretation Summit. Thank you. Have a great week.
Bye. See you next week.